Appreciate everybody taking the time out of their afternoon to come and spend it with us here for the next 20 or 30 minutes. This is our annual award ceremony. We recognize our telecommunicator of the year, our trainer of the year, and then our leadership team member of the year. We have most of the nominees lined up over here. Hello, nominees. I had a few that couldn't be with us. This is the challenge of recognizing people who work midnight shift. Some of them are not present, but we'll still tell you the great things they did this year along the way. We're going to start with our telecommunicator of the year nominees. All right, will do. Our telecommunicator of the nominees, telecommunicator of the year nominees are Jessica Adcock, Tonalia Boone, Monica McCullough, and Ashley Simpson. 3 out of 4 there in the mix. Jessica Adcock, since joining our team as part of the consolidation with the city of Spring Hill in January, is engaged with our team in almost every available level. She completed incident tactical dispatch training to be part of our tactical dispatch team. She achieved communications training officer certification status, which helps her train our new team members as we add and then existing team members along the way. She represented the Tennessee Telecommunicator Emergency Response Team at the state conference, engaging other 911 centers to get involved in that TERT program. That TERT program basically sends groups of dispatchers to other dispatch centers when they don't have enough staff to cover, perhaps a line of duty death or some reason that may cause them not to be there. She's always consistent to fill existing gaps in staffing when overtime is required. In March, Ms. Adcock was part of a 3-person team that triaged calls about dispatching responders to a road rage incident at a gas station that allowed officers to quickly locate and apprehend that suspect. In July, Ms. Adcock received praise from an elderly citizen for helping her determine how to contact Comcast regarding a service issue, which provides excellent customer service to all of our citizens regardless of the nature of their call. On November 28th, just a few weeks ago, Ms. Adcock triaged a call from a female threatening to commit suicide by hanging. She was unable to obtain an address for that caller and instead searched the internet for possible locations, which she dispatched out to responders who were able to locate the patient prior to harming herself and transfer to the hospital so she can get treatment. So those are among many reasons we recognize Jessica Adcock as a nominee for Telecommunicator of the Year. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Now I'm going to embarrass Tonalia and have her come up first. Come on up here. I should have done that. Should have done that before, right? Should have started right here. Everybody wants to look at your smiley face while I brag about all the amazing things you've done, right?
You're going to make me blush.
Right? You're next to a red flag. You're in good spot.
Okay.
Right. Tonalia, since joining our team as part of our consolidation with the city of Spring Hill in January, has also engaged with our team at nearly every available level we offer. She's completed tactical incident dispatch training to be part of our tactical dispatch team. She achieved communications training officer status, helping her train our new employees and our veterans. She's become an active member of our Telecommunicator Cares Committee, which is our opportunity to engage our folks. The lights, the Christmas tree, those things you see that take a moment to remember that this is a workplace and not just an emergency activation center, as well as philanthropic efforts like collecting toiletry supplies for the homeless or food for the hungry through some donation efforts. She can always be counted on to fill in existing staffing gaps when overtime is required. On May the 12th, Ms. Boone was recognized by a citizen for her role in quickly dispatching a call for service regarding a suspicious vehicle being driven by unknown males that were harassing a young teenager riding his bicycle through the neighborhood. That ensured the right help got to the right place at the right time. So for those and many other reasons, we recognize you. Thank you very much. Monica McCullough is one of our midnight shift team members. She's not here tonight or today, but we will list out her nomination. She joined our team with a degree in criminal justice with a heart for public safety communications. Since joining our team, she consistently demonstrates a desire to learn more and engage in this career. She's always counted on to be present for her shift. I understand she's not called out sick once in 2 years, which is something that she holds as a personal point of pride. I do too. Y'all take note. She has excellent room awareness, often taking the initiative to make phone calls for her neighbors to complete tasks without being prompted to do so. On February the 26th, she triaged a phone call from a frightened resident reporting an unknown person knocking on her door late at night. Though nobody was located, her handling of the call with courtesy and compassion yielded a commendation from the citizen and her daughter who placed the call to us. On May the 30th, she dispatched fire and EMS responders to a reported homicide-suicide with a female patient who stabbed her partner while attempting to stab herself. She said the officer involved, it was obvious attentiveness and quick thinking that went into the handling of this incident, and the work of the dispatchers involved made my job on scene much easier, which is really what we're focused on every day. That's our goal every day. On September the 7th, she engaged with her teammates to query multiple vehicle burglary suspects to recover multiple stolen items in an apartment complex. And then just a few weeks ago on December the 5th, she triaged multiple phone calls regarding a fully involved structure fire in an occupied house with multiple exposure concerns, ammunition inside of the home, propane gas tanks on the outside of the home, resulting in mutual aid from neighboring counties and engagement with the Red Cross. Her efforts to obtain all the relevant information, who was inside, where those exposure risks were, both inside and out, and what side of the structure they were on, helped to send the right help to the right place in the right time. That's Monica. And then our final nominee for this category is Ashley Simpson. Since joining our team, Ashley Simpson is engaged with our team again at almost every available level. She can be consistently relied on to demonstrate a great attitude, willingness to help her teammates, and be a source of encouragement in the communications center. She completed incident tactical dispatch training to be a part of our tactical dispatch team. She became an active member of our telecommunicators committee, that same group that is decorating and doing the philanthropic efforts we're involved with. She created and organized a uniform tracking and ordering process. She donated her skills as a graphic designer to help us create logos for future apparel designs that we'll be using for our incident tactical dispatch team to recognize them in the field. She achieved communications training officer certification, which is going to help her train other teams. She's always showing a willingness to pick up additional projects, such as assessing appropriate talk group configuration in mobile and portable radios, which is critical for us, so we can find the right resources in those new resources we're using. On January the 25th, she played a critical role as part of a team answering 911 calls, routing to our center while Murray County ECD experienced an unplanned phone outage. On January the 18th, Ms. Simpson took a phone call from a male who returned home to find his girlfriend had committed suicide by gunshot in their backyard. She remained focused on encouraging the caller while gathering all the relevant information for the responders who needed to process both a medical and a potential criminal scene. She was focused on our mission, which is not, I say all the time, we're not focused on life-saving in this room, because sometimes we get that call where the incident is already done. If we focus only on life-saving, we're going to say we missed our mission for the day. And in this example, I actually stayed true to our mission to bring calm to a chaotic situation, and some order to a disorderly situation, and some clarity to the confusion that was going on in that scenario. On April the 20th, Ms. Simpson took a call from a child who advised her mother wouldn't wake up. The call was dispatched within 49 seconds of call receipt, and then CPR instructions began immediately. Within 5 minutes, the caller reported the patient had shallow breathing. Medics found a viable patient when they arrived, transported her, and then later discharged her home through Ashley's efforts. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have you stay. Our nominees are presented in alphabetical order, but you are our Telecommunicator of the Year for 2019. So thank you. Thank you. Our next category is Communications Training Officer of the Year. Again, alphabetical order. My first two are not here. I have one who's ill, but honestly so humble, I don't think I could drag him out of a hole to bring him in front of this group. But he's fantastic, needless to say. Brandon Kaysen. These four individuals I'm going to highlight have combined this year to provide 3,445 hours of on-the-job training, which is significant when you think about 2,080 hours being your standard employee work for an individual for a year. They've basically, between the four of them, trained 2 full people in that amount of time, which is 100% of the time for 2 years straight. It's a lot of training, right, trainers? Eventually you go, do I do this job, or do I just sit next to people who do this job? I understand that. Brandon Kaysen is our first nominee. He's a diligent and humble member of our training team. In May, he was recognized as part of the EMS system, receiving the EMS Star of Life Award for Region 5 statewide. His life-saving efforts involve a roadside baby breech delivery. Pretty impressive process. Mr. Kaysen is critical to our training program. He reviews and drafts procedures for approval, dispatching specifically fire and EMS calls. He trains how we dispatch using the new radio system. When we deployed in spring, he helped the whole room understand how we're going to use this new radio system and the different changes it brought to us. He helped transition our team members who joined us from Spring Hill through the consolidation, that they understand what they were doing once they arrived on our new software. And he can always be counted on to present his shift, be present for his shift, and engage with his teammates. So that's Brandon Kaysen. In recognition of one of our midnight shift team members, Mr. Jonathan Hobson. He's a diligent and committed member of our training team, and in July he became only the 5th public safety communications professional and only one of 70 in the entire state of Tennessee to earn his emergency number professional certification through the National Emergency Number Association. This certification proves competence in not only call handling, but call delivery and the concepts behind PSAP management. Mr. Hobson plays an integral role coordinating on-the-job training on night shift. He instructed multiple in-service and basic education classroom courses to our folks throughout the year. He's reliable as an employee, which is important for a trainer, that he does what he teaches his folks to do. He's consistent in performance on the floor as well. He trained how we use the new dispatch radio system and also helped in that transition of folks from Spring Hill here in January 2019. Jonathan Hobson. Aaron Jakubowski. Ms. Jakubowski is a committed member of our training team. She consistently is recognized for engaging her trainees in on-job training efforts through quizzes, learning games, and various review material. She can be relied upon to review calls for quality upon request by supervisors, which is not an easy or fun task. Let me tell you, if you say, check this call for quality, basically it says, give your peer a grade. That's, but you do, and you do a good job. It's critical to what we do. Training personnel and new procedures, specifically the preliminary and supplemental dispatch roles that we now use for fire and EMS. Reviewing and updating training material to ensure we're providing relevant materials to review with our training team. And she's reliable in demonstrating the expectations of a telecommunicator to those that we trust her and support her to teach. So thank you very much. Heather Young is our final nominee in this category. Heather is the consummate professional, kind, patient, committed, alert, and aware. She can always be counted on to be present for her shift and engaged with her teammates. She always carries a great attitude toward her training and to assisting her peers. She remains operationally ready at all times without being asked to do so. On March the 27th, while training a new call taker, Miss Young triaged a call from a 3-year-old child who was alone when she found her mother unresponsive in the home. Though the patient could not be revived, Miss Young's commitment with her trainee to remain calm, focused, and this young caller got the right help to the right place at the right time to assist that child who was now on her own. Miss Young spent the lion's share of this year dealing with personal challenges as well. About a year ago, a family member got involved in a serious motor vehicle accident as the other end of a suspect evading police crashed into her car. So she's been very involved and very committed to things in her personal life, and we would not have known about it in any other way. She comes in here professional and focused on the job at hand and helping us to move from good to great. So thank you, Heather, very much. And the recipient of the 2019 Communications Training Officer of the Year is Aaron Jakubowski. Thank you. Appreciate you. We have 2 nominees in the leadership team category. Both of these nominees for Leadership Team Member of the Year embody in what my opinion is a leader should be. They're engaged at both the agency and regional level. They attempt to continually learn about things that they could understand better while also applying those best practices to lead our personnel and other PSAPs into the future. Our first candidate or nominee is Danielle Ferguson. They say her car is here. She's in a meeting. All right, fine. See how committed she is? She's in a meeting right now. Danielle Ferguson is constantly pushing herself and those around her to be the absolute best they can be as one of our night shift supervisors. Ms. Ferguson serves the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials at the national level as a chair of a standards development writing group. She attempted the National Emergency Number Association's Emergency Number Professional Certification exam, and despite narrowly missing the passing score, something that many ENPs today can claim happened, she remained publicly committed to her diligence to study for the exam and encouraged others on her shift, including CTO Hobson, who went on to achieve it, to do the same. Ms. Ferguson is driven by her pursuit of excellence, and that drive pushes others around her to do the same. On January the 2nd, she functioned as our incident commander during our second operational period when we brought the Spring Hill to this facility overnight to make sure everything continued consistent. Also in January, Ms. Ferguson was involved in the coordination of the 911 calls to apprehend those individuals involved with harassing the young boy on the bike in the neighborhood. She coordinated the room to triage and relay several 911 calls back to Murray County, and that outage then for a time had us serving a population of over 300,000 people across two county lines. And on May 12th, she was commended for her role in coordinating information from multiple calls triaged by multiple telecommunicators, rendering in an arrest. Danielle Ferguson in a meeting. Our other nominee is Ms. Jennifer Schwendeman. Ms. Schwendeman is a reliable and consistent presence within our communications center, focused on training our new and tenured personnel as training and quality assurance coordinator. She consistently engages with our supervisors and technology teams to understand the operational and technical impacts of implementing new procedures or deploying a new software solution. She grew our CTO cadre to 15 individuals this year, with whom she holds regular meetings to coordinate the new and ongoing training for now 54 personnel. Engaging with partners in Sumner County and Murfreesboro, she gives insight into how our training program structure might benefit their operations. January the 2nd, Ms. Wyndham was also involved as project manager for the deployment of the Spring Hill consolidation overnight to make sure that all the technology continued to function as expected through the overnight hours. In April, Ms. Schwendeman assumed the role of Vice President for the Tennessee chapter of the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials, which puts her in a role to equip and prepare public safety comms professionals across the volunteer state with opportunities to learn and engage their profession through courses and other leadership. You didn't come up when I started reading your name, so now you have to come and stand here for 2 minutes in silence, so that's just part of the deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Despite the fact that she's in the meeting, Danielle Ferguson is our leadership team member of the year this year, so I'll just, that's what that looks like, and we'll go find her later. There's so much good work being done here every day and every week, and we strive and seek for opportunities to recognize that, continuing to work with our response agency partners as stories are going to come out of good things that happen on the roadside, to kind of share that whole picture. As this call came in and it was handled all the way through from call to really delivery to the hospital, right all the way to the part we put a patient in the emergency room. It's really great stuff. Pleased as could be to be partners with every one of you, and just look forward to the year ahead. Thank you for your time this afternoon.